T-minus 5, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. But it's evening here, evening there, afternoon there, evening there.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter, everyone, yeah. Not too much chocolate. Jackie, I bet you believe lots of chocolate.
Too much chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate fix galore.
And a chocolate cat, chocolate rabbit, and chocolate egg. I've got a bit of egg.
Average stamped
I have
all over
chocolate
your
in the freezer.
Oh, look, you got
Wow, never noticed that there before. Got
No,
a
is
freezer.
that-
the freezer.
I must admit,
Anyway.
so you sold all your drones and bought a freezer instead.
You know what? That was in my office at work for years, and it's been down in the garage. And so I
right.
thought I'd bring it up here, but you know it's way too noisy.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
Yeah, I probably won't leave it up here. But I did put some of those Cadbury's chocolate drops or dots, whatever they call them,
Oh, the little drops.
in the freezer.
yes.
Because my friend Backpack Jack told me that's how you got to have
Yeah,
them.
oh, yeah.
You gotta have 'em. So they crunch.
Yeah.
Chocolate is nice to have in a fridge. It must be. It's just got
Yeah.
that different. It gives you a different flavour. But do you know
Yeah.
what? The funny thing is, I don't know if you agree with me. Why is it that chocolate from an Easter egg tastes better than ordered chocolate?
It's because it's the right thickness and it snaps when it's frozen in the freezer.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And they mix it with bunny poop, and it adds that little extra flavor.
That's why I've been hopping all over the place this afternoon.
Anyway,
Drones.
drones.
We've got something to talk about. Drones. I really have.
Okay, so let's have a look. We got in here.
Yeah.
We got Harvey, we got John Olsen, we got Brian, we've got Jerry, we've got 107 drones. I can't remember that is.
Dave.
Steve Knowles. Steve Knowles pointed out something earlier on that for some obscure reason when I set the show up, it came up at 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, but it definitely is 8 o'clock. So I'm not sure what happened there.
Maybe Steve.
And for those fans on Twitter, we're not on there tonight. For some reason, it's all gone pear-shaped and we can't get on there. So never mind, no. No one ever watched it anyway. Right, Mickey Boo Productions and Bill Hooper.
Bill!
Yeah.
I sent him the link for this.
That's Michael right there.
Oh, yes, sorry, Michael.
Caroline.
Hola.
Times have never been so good.
There he is singing, but
Cadbury
he's
cream
hiding.
eggs. Harvey says Cadbury cream
Oh
eggs.
no, they're disgusting. Oh,
Doesn't
not
like it.
contaminated.
There's mountains of them in the
Lauren,
grocery stores
How
here.
you doing, Lauren? And buttons.
Way to go with
That's
it.
it.
Who else we got here? Anyone else? Oh, Mill City Sky. Mill City Sky.
Oh, it's Will.
Hello, Will.
Will. There we are. Someone knows it. And Flying Fin Media. So who's
John.
Flying Fin Media then?
John. Oh,
John
Steve,
John
you're
Flynn.
horrible
John
names.
Flynn. Yeah, he
I
was.
don't know.
They're all
who
bad
he-
with names.
Just write them down. I've never remembered them. It's
Well,
just not
just-
good enough.
Store them, you know.
No, I've got things to store in my head. What's this? One, two,
He
It
was
was
part of the. He was
droning
part of
around.
the 18 drones in the air in Florida.
In Florida.
There's a little note up here saying to start the show at 8 o'clock. We did. Anyway, right. Okay. So, welcome anyone. If I've missed anyone, sorry. I can't remember your name. Sorry. Let's bring our special guest on
Yay.
and find the right. What's going on here?
You can remember her name.
Is it? Shut up.
Let's welcome this week's Drone Seekers live show special guest.
do, Jeannie?
Oh.
What have I done? I've broken the screen again. No, oh, that's it.
That's better.
I'll tell you what. Let's put Jeannie in the middle. That's better. Jeannie's right in the middle now. Good.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jeannie, welcome back to the show. I know you've been no stranger to the Drone Seeker Show. You've been here many times. You know what it's all about. Probably not me, but this crazy lot here. So, what have you been up to, Jeannie?
Well, I'm still flying every day.
Wow.
So can you believe my 5-year anniversary is coming up this month?
No.
Wow.
And
way.
you
It's insane, isn't it?
It is.
5 years.
Every day. But I did stop flying. I have 4 drones. So I'm only doing one now, at least. I stopped doing that like a year.
Oh, well, that's right, because you used to fly. You had 3, didn't you?
Like 3 a day, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes, I was doing my Spark, my original Mavic Pro, and my Mavic 2 Zoom. And sadly, so I have a Mavic 2 Pro. I never put that in the flying streak. But I actually lost my original Mavic 2 Zoom last May. I finally had a crash and I lost it.
Wow.
What do you
4
say?
years of flying and I lost one.
So when you
But
say
it
you
doesn't
lost
matter because you fly every day, and that's the thing that keeps the streak going, doesn't it?
But-
Doesn't matter what you
Well,
so-
that's what I decided.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you still got the spark then? You still got the spark? You haven't like Jackie, you haven't
I
drowned
do
it.
have my Spark and I haven't, but what? Oh, I missed that.
You haven't drowned it.
No.
I must say it's a trick.
I
Oh,
heard
that Aqua Spark.
that wasn't Jack's fault. Didn't it go in like Addy mode and just, right?
That's it. Shot off towards Morocco.
Shot off.
Never to be seen again.
Well,
never
my
mind.
drone might be up in a tree. I don't know. You know, this is crazy. So, like, I've been flying so long, but I don't have the patience to learn enough about the drone. I learned by doing more than, watching tutorials and stuff. And how crazy is this that I didn't know? I thought when you're calibrating your sensors, they're on the front, the back, the bottom, and the sides. I thought I had obstacle avoidance on the side. So I was following these rowers across a river. And actually, I thought I was up plenty high, but apparently not because I hit a tree. And I never recovered it. I went in the woods to look for it and it was, on my map on my phone, like it says, like you could find your drone, like I was trying to find it, but there was like a rock wall. It was crazy. It was crazy.
I mean, the thing with that, with this flying my drone thing, I mean, the one thing I found, the only time I've used it, well, first of all, it sent me on a wild goose chase. He was telling me the drone was in one direction, walking over there. When I got there, he said it was over there.
Right.
When mine drowned, Terry saw it go in the sea, but we didn't know that till he looked at his footage.
Not till I got home.
And mine said it was on the rocks. So I went back looking for it, and then he phoned me and said, "I've just found your drone. I've seen it. It's gone in the sea."
I think that. Well, maybe that
Well,
was
they
the
said
last
they
time.
found my Nano when I was in Florida. They said,
yeah.
April Fool.
I didn't know.
They
So
branched out.
I was actually very lucky. They discontinued the Mavic 2 Zoom, and I absolutely, that was the best drone I ever had.
Yeah.
It's better than my Mavic 2 Pro for flying. It was just a great drone to fly. I don't know why it was better. They're the same drone basically, but it was just really good to fly. And but I was lucky to find one from a fellow Long Islander where I'm from that had a used one for sale. And
Oh, brilliant.
I was able to get a new one, a used one. But and also I'm really lucky that I had State Farm insurance and they covered it. They more than covered it actually, because the used drone I paid like $900 and they covered my drone for like $1,500.
Oh, wow.
Happy
So
days.
$5 a year. All my drones are covered. I mean, I don't know how many crashes they'll cover you for. So,
Try not to have too many.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I got my Avata now, and I'm flying
Yay.
on the V2 goggles. And what I didn't realize, and we were out flying the other day, and I kept saying to Jackie, I got a problem. I really have a problem, because you pair up the goggles with the Avata, and it's great. Flying, no problem at all. changed over, and you've got a facility within the goggles to change from one aircraft to the other, but you have to pair them again.
Yeah, you do.
So if you fly with aircraft A and it's paired up on aircraft A on the goggles, you're fine. But if you fly on the controller aircraft A and you've got aircraft B flying, it won't go. So you got to go through the whole system again. And it's a real pain.
Thing for the DJI, because I have the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom, and one of the remotes wasn't working, and it's the same exact thing. You have to do the same thing with those.
Yeah, you do. I think it's to make sure. Yeah, I mean, you'd think you just better switch it over, but I mean, the smart controller's the same. I mean, Terry, the smart controller. I mean, you can change that, but then you have to. So you have to, yeah.
RC Pro. This is the RC Pro.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's really just as quick as selecting the drone that you want to use on the screen, and boom, you're off to the races.
So if you're Marcus, if you're
that, why can't they do it with the goggles?
Yeah.
You guys that fly those weird DJI drones, I can't help you.
I contacted DJI and they gave me the full rundown of it, and exactly as I said, you have to pair each time you fly a different aircraft. You've got to go through the whole system again.
Yeah.
So while we're on that subject, can I take just 1 second, Steve? So while we're on that Avata subject, Barkley is in the chat. He let me look through his goggles and look at, and he's got the goggles too. And I could see the whole screen, Jackie, other than the very bottom
in the corner,
a little bit blurred.
Yeah,
and you can adjust how much it comes in, and I find that 70% works for me. If I go bigger than that, the edges are a bit blurred for me.
Oh, so that may be possibly something that I could look into.
Yeah. Regarding what Bill's just said and Caroline, I will get the other goggles.
Yeah.
But will I be able to use my controller? Will I have to?
You'd have to switch it, wouldn't you, Terry?
Yeah.
Unless you have your goggles 2 or whatever they're called.
Yes, your V2 with the smart controller.
Yeah.
And the hand
and your
controller.
goggles 2 with your hand controller.
Motion
controller. I don't like it much.
Or of course, because smart controllers, you can get the cheapest chips.
No, I prefer my
sticks. Sticks.
This.
I'll just call them sticks.
So those new Integra goggles look interesting, and the Motion 2 looks like it's the hot tip as well.
I like this.
Oh yeah,
I really do.
Julie, have you had to go with goggles yet?
No, one time I went, there's a crew that does not DJI Avata. They do the real racing drones. I really don't know about the Avata, but one of them let me put the goggles on, and actually I felt nauseous because I was standing up.
Yeah.
It does at first. It really does wear off very quick.
I mean, with the Avata, it's not so bad, but with even when I actually watch FPV videos, so just on the computer screen, sometimes it's I just watch some of them. Those somersaults and all sorts. Anyway, video time, he thinks.
You keep an airsick bag next to your computer, Steve?
Yep.
Good idea.
Right. So
video.
Not joke time.
Is
no
joke time. I want this.
What was that?
Nothing. Joke.
I mean,
Mhm.
Oh,
That's lovely. That's nice. Really nice.
You want to know what happened there?
Yep.
So
I do.
I was on a trip to New York, and I actually was driving back to Knoxville, Tennessee, and I was going to fly around a NASCAR track in Martinsville, Virginia. I'm very into NASCAR. Not very, but I like it, and I like flying around the track. So I was passing through Roanoke, and I saw the church from the highway that I was on. And I actually flew in Roanoke once, so I knew that church was there, but it was under construction. But anyway, I pulled off the highway, had a couple minutes. I thought, let me just, and it was like Holy Thursday or something. So I thought that would be appropriate. And so I'm in the parking lot and I'm flying. And a priest comes up to me and says, look, there's a sign right here. They had a no drone sign at a church in the parking lot. Can you believe? And I drove right by it. I didn't see it. So I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I said, I didn't see the sign. And I said, but the church is so beautiful and it's Holy Week. And he said, I know it is. And that's why we don't want it to get hit. And I was thinking, who's going to hit the church? Has somebody hit their church?
Well, I'm not going to break your church. I promise you.
So I literally only had like 2 minutes of footage and just threw that together for Easter.
No, it's good. I mean, the one thing I loved about when you go to the front of it and the background, it almost gives it a real three-dimensional look to it. Do you know what I mean? So the background is sort of like fades away, and it's not that effect.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a beautiful area to photograph, and that church is incredible. It was built in the 1800s, but I'm sure they did. Well, they were doing renovating like 4 years ago when I was there, but.
That looks like it's been cleaned recently. Like I'm not sure. They sandblast it. I guess that's how they clean it.
Yeah. Actually, that's true. Did you read what I put something in the description that I just copied off of something for the church about it?
You know, as you really, they could tell you not to take off in their parking lot, but they can't. Yeah, they can't tell you not to fly around.
Right, and you know what? Next time I will go off the property and get out of there.
Exactly.
Just didn't have time. Yeah. I would have done it. I didn't have
time. Just say, look, I didn't see you board. I was too far away. I was in the field.
well, just for the fun of it, last week when I was at the Kennedy Space Center, I brought up the before you fly up, the FAA before you fly up, just to see what it would say. Boy, was it a massive red. We talk about a no-fly zone.
Yeah, red.
Well, there is a limited height there of 200 feet for anybody who's interested in flying there, but, it comes right up in that.
Is that near an airport somewhere?
Yes, yeah.
So you had to get Lance approval, etc., to fly.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't have to do that. It just had the warning. I didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it rather depends where you are, but I know in Elchi Dam, you get a warning there, but it just tells you to keep below a certain height.
Yeah, that's what that did.
Which, to be honest with you, I mean, I thought that high. What do you mean that keep that low? I thought that's too high. I don't want to be that high.
Elchi Dam, that leads back onto the Five Eyes Bridge area. And as far as Jackie was saying, we were saying that that's totally banned from flying there now.
Yeah,
it's on the Air thing. It's red, so
right.
So there, isn't it?
Well, when I come to Spain, will you take me there? I can just feign ignorance.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
He's having your own flying though, Marcus.
No, I mean, you're just best off keeping away from airports. I mean, full stop.
Yeah, that's it.
If you've got to do it for some reason, as I proved the other day, I just contacted air traffic control and said, look, I want to make a flight. They said, right, what time are you flying? How high are you going to go? Blah, blah, blah. That was it.
Blah, blah, blah. Hey, Steve, we have something in the U.S. that we're very fortunate to have, and that's within the FAA before you fly out. They have a thing called LANCE. Low, God, I try to remember what it stands for. Low altitude, something, but you get approval to fly when you're in controlled airspace. And I can literally be, a quarter of a mile from an airport and still get approval to fly. They may say that you can only go up 100 feet.
Yeah.
But what the cool thing about it is it's an automated system. It takes just seconds to do. And it gives you it not only does it give you the ability to fly, but it also automatically notifies air traffic control, so they know where your drone is at and where you're going to be flying. So it's a good system.
I wanted to mention that I was flying because somebody just said something about a lighthouse, and it's 176 feet tall. But
Oh yeah, it was yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I was flying in downtown Knoxville, and there's this really cool building. It's all windows, and I capture the reflections of all the other buildings. It's so cool. So I was up, and I think it's 200 feet for that, the maximum you're allowed to go up. But there was a personal plane that flew by. I swear they almost hit the top of the building.
Oh, really?
It's like they can do whatever they want. It's crazy.
So to your point, Jeannie, last week I was in Vero Beach in Florida flying with Ron Brown, and we've got our drones up in the air. We weren't very high. We were maybe, I don't know, 100, 150 feet in the air, maybe not even that. And here comes an aircraft, and I kid you not, he was 20 feet off the surf.
That's crazy.
Flying over that's no joke.
Did he have like the landing?
Sure.
See a plane that could land in the water?
Well, it may have been. It was out there a ways, and I couldn't tell.
He did. Perhaps you're trying to skim the water. I mean, but surely, I mean, planes do have
Rules.
limits.
What rules?
They must have. I mean, if drones have got rules, I
Well,
mean,
they
you
do.
can't tell me
It's
a
like that.
plane has.
Say we went to the airport, the small airfield, and they said drones can only go up 400 feet. Small planes can only come down 600 feet or something. And
Yeah.
there's that gap. They never
It's all
meet.
sort of mapped out. I mean, with
In the U.S., that's 500 feet. However, it's a guideline for manned aircraft, so they can go lower, but it's a guideline.
Jeannie, have you got one? Have you got Part 107?
No, but all right. I purchased the Pilot Institute program like a couple months ago. And I'm really struggling with it, and I was like a A-B student, like smart. So I've gotten through like 20% of the course, and I'm doing, when I do the quizzes, obviously a lot of it doesn't apply to drone flying, so I don't understand it really.
Yeah, that easy. I mean, yeah.
Swing aircraft stuff, but I feel like a dummy. All these people.
Jeannie, you will pass that thing no problem. It really is. People make a bigger deal out of it what it is. If you just go through that material, go in and take the test, trust me, you'll do fine.
All right.
By the way, Marcus, to answer your question, low altitude authorization notification capability.
Yeah, I see Barclay put that up there too. Thank you, Michael, for I always forget what it stands for, but there we go. But for instance, that video that I just posted in Titusville, Florida, both Ron and I had to get Lance approval before we could fly. We were within the Class D airspace of the Titusville airport.
Right.
We were far enough away from it that they gave me 400-foot clearance. So,
right.
Show us a waterfall video.
In good time.
Jeannie.
Me and James want to see
You know what?
one.
I'm getting into a lighthouse flying a lot.
What about Goat Island Lighthouse? Tell me about that, Jeannie.
So, all right. So the past 2 summers, I've been going to Maine to fly over this big sailboat race in Camden, the Camden Classic Cup. But the coast of Maine is so incredibly beautiful. And so I've been flying at a lot of lighthouses. So one of the last ones I did was Goat Island. And oh my gosh, I mean, I can't even believe that's like, not like down in the Bahamas somewhere. So absolutely gorgeous, the scenery there.
Sounds cool.
Right.
Yeah. So I had to fly out, I think, about a mile to get to it.
Right. Okay. So let's see if it's all worthwhile then, shall we?
Yeah.
The 3.5-acre Goat Island is located roughly 1 mile offshore from Cape Porpoise, a quiet vacation spot with a few shops, a few eateries, and a few guest houses, and a lot of Maine atmosphere. Built in 1833, the original Goat Island Lighthouse served, as it still does today, to guide mariners as they navigated the chain of stony islands that make up an archipelago in Cape Porpoise Harbor near Kennebunk Port. The station which guards the harbor was upgraded in 1859 to the current brick tower, and keeper's quarters were added in 1860. In 1993, the property was transferred from the Coast Guard to the Kennebunk Port Conservation Land Trust, which now welcomes more than 1,500 kayakers, paddlers, and boaters every summer. The Land Trust also allows tours of the lighthouse and the 125-foot-long walkway that connects to the living quarters. Scott and Karen Dabrowski have been living on Goat Island, serving as caretakers of the lighthouse and property from May through December for the past 28 years. They say the sunsets, sunrises, power of nature, the wildlife, the fishermen coming in with a wave, the many happy visitors, the dedicated volunteers, the sights, sounds, smells, and beauty, it just envelopes you. Everyone is just in awe of the beauty of this island and everything around it. People tell us all the time that this is probably the most beautiful place in the world, and we agree.
Cool. What
Yay!
Bravo.
That sounds really good.
That
Oh,
would be, yep.
It
But
does.
the commentary was spot on. It was just,
Superb.
Aw.
yeah.
Really good.
Bernie got me doing that. He said I should do narrations.
Well,
I think
because
it's right.
again, because as Mark said, was that it's telling a story, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
you're showing the video. I mean, the beauty of it. I mean, that sea looked. What time of the year was that, Jeannie?
That was the very beginning of August. So, I mean, that was
okay.
a nice surprise. That was so, I mean, all of Maine is beautiful, but that was unexpected. When I took the drone up, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the most beautiful thing I've ever captured.
I live close here and never knew this place existed.
Gotta go, Will.
After the show, pop off over there. And
Good old
Right
Will.
over here.
Will.
Yeah, maybe next year I'll kayak out to it.
Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Oh, you're just too much. You're just too much.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this is a guide I have that I picked up by Nubble Lighthouse, which is one of the most famous ones in York, Maine. It's in southern Maine. And there are 65 lighthouses, and I would like to fly around all of them. But some of them you have to take a boat out, so you just
Sounds
can't.
good.
Sure.
We actually got someone. I've never noticed that, but there's a little heart up there. I'm going to go see someone on Facebook. Is there someone on Facebook?
Don't know.
That's weird. That's right. I've just never said it before. Right. Okay. So, should we have a look? Let's have a look. Hang on. What have we got here? I've got to look through my little list here. Sinking Creek, West Knoxville.
Oh, don't show that one.
Don't
Fine.
show them. Well, I know what one will
That's
show.
right in my backyard. It's literally
Oh, well,
there's
that's
there's that. That was
What
just
about-
a little thing I did last week.
What about Cumberland Frozen Falls?
Yeah. That's the one. Show that one. Show that one.
Yes, do you know we had frigid temperatures for a week? We've never had this like this before, and it was incredible that waterfall was frozen.
Oh, good.
So that's known as the Niagara Falls of the South. It's in Kentucky, but it's like an hour and a half from me.
So, what time of the year was this, Cheesy? I'm taking this was
That was all right. I was in
Wait.
Long Island. I was on Long Island visiting my mother, and it was December 24th when I came back. I think it was December 26th when I flew there. It was right after Christmas.
Right, let's do it.
After a few days of frigid temperatures reaching a low of 5 degrees, in Kentucky, where the amazing Cumberland Falls reside, I decided to pack up my drones and head up to check it out. And what an amazing sight it was to capture, with ice framing the edges of the falls and gorge walls, and the most incredible was the frozen pool below the falls.
That's amazing, eh?
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are so nice.
Beautiful.
We'll see Torvald and Dean skate on that.
Someone was saying about being careful of the waterfall mist or the props could freeze. So one good thing about, I was very careful there. I saw someone else did a video there and they were flying so low. But with the mist does go very high off of that, but that's why the Zoom drone is so great.
Yeah.
I could get the up close looks and not be like right there. I try to be very careful of that.
So with the zoom, does it still keep the, when obviously when you zoom in, is the picture as sharp as when you're not zoomed in?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
So Steve, the difference is she's on the Mavic 2 zoom, and it's a true optical.
That is
zoom.
not, it's not digital,
Yeah, not
it's optical, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I am curious about, Marcus, which you would know. For my next drone, I either want the Mavic 3 Pro or the Mavic 3 Classic. So which drone is better for the money, do you think?
Well, we don't know how much the Mavic 3 Pro is going to cost yet.
Oh, isn't it out?
No, no,
Yes.
we expect it soon. There's been a lot of pictures, but we haven't seen it yet. The Mavic 3. So what you have is the Mavic 3 came first.
Okay. Oh,
And
so it's not a Pro. It's just the Mavic 3. Okay.
Yeah, the Mavic 3 Pro we expect any time, and it's going to have 3 lenses on it. But
Oh, so,
go ahead.
so yeah, because it's just a Mavic 3, isn't it? So you got a Mavic 3 Pro coming out as well, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was the Mavic 3 Pro. I was confused about
You
it.
can call it
There
Mavic
was
4.
actually a Mavic 3 Pro flying in Florida, but they kept it
That's it.
pretty much under wraps, and you couldn't even get a look at it.
I built.
Wow.
However,
It was back.
I'm not going to
missed
tell you who was flying it. But, however, the standard Mavic 3 has a 7x telephoto lens above the standard micro 4/3 lens, and it will shoot in perfect 7 by telephoto, so you can really get in. But I'm trying to remember, and help me out in the chat here, Barkley or Mike. I think it's just a half-inch sensor on the 7 by lens on the top. But I'm with you, Jeannie. That I often regret selling my Mavic 2 zoom for that very feature, because you had that optical zoom, and I wish they would do that again.
But isn't the Mavic 3 Classic, doesn't that have that?
The Mavic 3 Classic does not. It crops in on that micro 4/3 sensor.
Yeah.
However,
3 Pro is going to look like that, apparently.
no, that's not the Pro. That is what I have right now.
That's Mavic 3.
That's the Mavic 3, is it?
Yeah. The Classic just has the micro 4/3 camera on it. That's all it has.
Do you see that, Marcus?
What's that? Yeah, no comment.
No comment. Oh, down.
However, all the leaks are out now, so you can just go online and you can.
But I wonder how much it's going to cost, because the Mavic 3 was really a lot more expensive, I think, than anybody was.
It should be cheaper in theory.
No.
The Mavic 3 is, you can buy a refurb.
Oh, is that it?
That's the new one.
Oh
That's
my God, look at that.
My goodness.
Yeah, that's the Mavic
Holy
3 Pro.
cow.
You're
And
talking
then the
language.
goggles.
What the hell?
Goggles lens.
We'll see that anytime now. It's got
So
3
that's-
cameras on it.
So
we should see that
that's what they're doing now. It's like mobile phones. They have all these cameras. They're doing the same
That's
thing.
it.
with drones,
Lenses,
isn't
right?
Yeah, like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What does that
I only
remind you
have
of?
2,
Yeah.
Jackie. I only have 2. What do you have, the 14? I think I have an
Mine's
11.
13.
13 Pro. Yeah. But Jeannie, to your point, it is going to be expensive. So in other words, the Mavic 3 Pro, I expect, is going to be $2,300, something like that. That you can buy the Mavic 3 with just the 7 by zoom lens at the top, and then the micro 4/3, which will crop in, I believe, in 4K, and help me out again, Mike and Barkley, I think up to 4 times. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but it crops in on that micro 4/3 sensor. So you get it, that's such a big sensor that you still get a really good looking picture. But I'm totally with you. What I wish they would give us is, let's put a big camera on that thing with a genuine telephoto lens, right?
Yeah.
That's what we want.
But it seems to be this is the way they do it now. Like mobile phones, I mean, obviously mobile phones, they just put free cameras on there, or free lenses at least.
3 lenses.
And it sort of seems to resolve all the issues. But
It's 3 cameras. It's 3 separate cameras, and that's the same thing it is on that.
however, the weird thing about it, Mark, is when you're using those free cameras, you don't know you're not using free cameras. You're using free lenses. You don't see it switch over from one to the other, do you?
Yeah, you can.
Computational photography, that's called computational photography. It's all done by the computer in here. However, Jackie can attest to this. When you're shooting something macro, right?
Yeah,
You'll see it switch. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll never use macro. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. See what we've got now. If I better ask Jeannie before she goes. No. Oh, this is I don't know what it is. But Bald River Falls.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I did
Yeah.
that recently. That was recent.
Right. Here we got him.
Bald River Falls is a stunning waterfall located in the Cherokee National Forest in Tellico Plains, Tennessee. This majestic cascade drops an impressive 90 feet over a wide ledge and into the Bald River Gorge below. The falls are surrounded by thick forests of oak, hickory, and hemlock trees, creating an idyllic setting for visitors to enjoy. A falls are easily accessed from Tellico River Road and can be viewed even from your car. You can also hike the trail to the left of the parking area to explore above the falls, which I highly recommend.
Yay!
Thank you. So let me ask you this. There's something in that waterfall that bothers me, and it's been there for a year because I've flown there like 3 times.
What is it?
You know what happens with nature is when there are storms that the tree limbs go down the river and they park themselves in the middle of the waterfall. So there's these 2 tree limbs just standing in the waterfall, and I just wish they'd get out of the picture.
Well, what are you going to do, Jeannie, is get a drone, right? A bit of rope.
Sometimes they add a lot of beauty, like this place, Perry's Mill Dam Waterfall. It's a man-made waterfall that I fly at all the time. It's a half hour from my house. One time there was this beautiful tree sitting in the middle of it. Like, that was nice. You know, but those 2 sticks or whatever, they look ugly.
Yeah. So someone asked, I think you answered the question about the filters.
You know what? I normally use a Polar Pro, my 8 ND filter, the cinematic, but guess what? Guess what drone had that filter on it?
Oh,
I can't buy it because they discontinued it. So now I'm using my 4, and occasionally I use the 16, but I love the 8. The 8 was my go-to.
When you asked the question, actually, Jeannie, what was in there? Gary said,
A dead body.
Gary.
You know, really sadly, somebody drowned there like a year ago. People,
so it was a
2 trees there, people go stand in the middle of the waterfall, and then they get dragged down and they get caught under it. You know, just be safe. You know, you know, Jackie, you do a lot of hiking. You got to be really safe.
Jackie always uses an ND filter on platypus.
I do.
Which one do
You
you
can't
use?
get it off.
One that's wedged on there.
What strength?
when I come over next
I
month,
remember,
I'm going to bring a hammer with me and a chisel. I'm going to get
Well,
up and whack.
Might be 16, I'm not sure.
The 4 is good for
Chainsaw,
cloudy.
Steve.
4 is good for
Sorry, again?
cloudy weather. Nothing at night. Like if you're doing
Sorry, Terry?
fireworks, nothing. Just the stock.
I've got a chainsaw.
Chainsaw, yeah. We'll bring your drone along, Jackie. We'll sort it out.
You know, listen to this. So I was flying at that place, Perry's Mill Dam, and I did a silly thing. And this is a warning to other people who may get so relaxed flying. I had it hovering, and I was walking down a hill so I could, you know, drop down in front of it. And I had to tie my shoelace. So what did I do with my remote? I had it in my lap. Guess what I did? All of a sudden I hear zzz, it went in a tree. I hit it, and thank God it landed on the grass. So this just happened like in the fall, and I had to pay $200. I had DJI repair it. It just was one of the arms.
Oh,
I don't
boy.
know. It wasn't a terrible thing, but oh my gosh, that scared the crap out of me when I heard that. I'm like, what the heck? Where's my drone? What's going on?
Chris,
But,
Chris says he uses an ND16 a lot.
Probably
yeah,
better with
in
sunlight,
bright
yeah.
sunlight, over water, bright sunlight, that is good.
Depends on the aperture of the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Alan does a lot of. He says he's in. Alan, do you actually use filters? I'm sure you do.
Alan is a big proponent of filters. Yeah, he's talked about that numerous times. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it makes a huge difference. I think it makes everything even more vibrant. You know, the colors.
Very rarely use filters.
That's why I have the Boxo filters.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
And what's your favorite?
You don't take any of them from that box.
Yeah, you know what? I seldom use an ND filter. I got a crap load of them though.
Oh, you know why? I just remembered why I brought that up about flying at when DJI fixed my drone and they sent back drone. They put my stock filter on so tight. You know, you have to unscrew it on the Mavic 2 Zoom. And I called them up. I'm like, why did you people don't you know people use ND filters? I can't get this thing off. But finally, I fussed with it enough and I got it off.
Your platypus, Jackie. You can't get that off. I mean, is it? Can you not get anything behind just to push it off?
Terry will get it off of there for you.
I haven't tried.
Is it a screw, Jackie?
No, I mean,
no, it's like a push on twist.
Okay. Yeah, you got to push down and turn. But the Polar Pros come with a thing to help you get them off and on.
They'll get the video from flickering.
Yeah, that's true, Bernie. So I mean, I just leave it on. It's on there. So
have you ever
something usually shines here, doesn't it?
I've never crashed into a cliff. No.
The point of an ND filter, the whole reason for an ND filter for video is to achieve natural looking motion blur. That's what it's for. Now, people will tell you that it changes colors, this and that, and the other thing. No, it doesn't. Now, a polarizer will. If you have a polarizer on there, it can affect the blue of the skies.
Well, that's what I have. It's a polarizer.
Yeah.
You turn it. You can spin it.
Exactly right. That's exactly right, Jeanne. So here's my question to
you. Jackie's crashed into everything.
Oh, with your Avada, right?
No. I crashed into a cliff with platypus.
I saw you do some rescue mission with your Avada.
Oh, yeah.
Rescue mission.
I even supplied the soundtrack for that.
That was a cool video. Anyway,
Hey,
so Marcus,
I've got a question for you with your polarizer on your filter. Yeah. So, you know, that's the polarizer depends on which direction you are facing the sun. And if you change directions, you have to change it. It's not adjusted right. In other words, if you turn around, it's adjusted 180 degrees out then. So when you're doing your videos, you just fly in one direction. And if you know you're going to fly the other direction, come back and land, readjust it.
You know what? I'm technically, I don't know all the technology. Isn't that crazy? But I always leave the white dot at the top. I saw some video that said to leave the white dot at the top. And so that's what I do. I mean, I can show it to anybody who's interested. I have my drone behind me, but that's what I do.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, that's why I struggle with polarizers. Enough of that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to confuse things.
Fine.
But they're good over here, though, because it's so bright, isn't it, Jackie? You know, the sun, it's worth having them on.
Definitely.
Carolyn has given us a better description. Yeah. Thank you, Carolyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you just twiddle it till the sky's the nice shade of blue you want.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what you do, Jackie. That's you nailed it. That's exactly what you do. But then as soon as you turn around and go the other way,
you got to twiddle it back, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right. Last video from Jeannie. This one is Perry Mill Dam flooded.
Ooh.
It's nearly.
So that's where I hit the stick and crashed my and ran into a tree. That's the thing I was just talking
I
about.
haven't got time.
Yeah, you have.
We've all got plenty of time.
Oh,
2 minutes. Oh,
Right.
very pleased.
Okay.
Short
So-
one then.
A short
Go
one.
on. I'm ready.
And 1, 2,
Go, go,
3,
go.
go.
And now it's time for Terry's Joke of the Week.
It's got to be a quickie.
It's got to be a quickie.
Yeah. Man.
It happens as you get older, Terry.
Oh, Marcus.
I know it, Marcus. As this man, he met this beautiful, beautiful lady, decided, I'm going to marry her. And I think I want to marry her right away. He approached her and said, I love you. I think you are lovely. I want to marry you. But she said, we don't know anything about each other. He said, that's all right. We'll learn about each other as we go along. Finally, bit hard up, she consented. They were married and off they went on honeymoon to a very, very nice resort. Tobago, I think, Jackie. And one morning they were lying by the pool. When he got up off his towel, climbed up the 10-meter board, did a 2.5-meter tuck, followed by 3 rotations into the pike position, at which point he straightened out and cut the water like a knife. A few more demonstrations like that. He came back, lay down on the towel. She said, that's incredible. He said, I used to be an Olympic diving champion, you see. I told you we'd learn more about each other as we went along. She got up, jumped into the pool and started doing lengths. 10-meter pool. No, sorry, it wasn't. It was a 25-meter pool. 75 lengths later, she climbed out of the pool, lay down on her towel and was hardly out of breath. He said, that was incredible. Were you an Olympic endurance swimmer? Nah, she said. I was a prostitute in Liverpool, but I worked both sides of the Mersey.
Terry's Joke of the Week.
I was going to say Thames, but I got mixed up there.
Mersey worked. Yeah.
There you go. Hang on, what did... No, he didn't say anything. Yeah.
Right, so Caroline...
Caroline gave you 5 laughs.
You got 5 from Carolyn.
Oh, I did, yeah. Steve. Well, thank you, Steve. Very good, yeah.
You got 5 on Carly.
Ooh, Liverpool.
Oh, look at Alan gave us 6.
Now you wish you said London now.
I did.
You probably know what I need from London.
Alan gave you 6.
I did, yeah. Thanks,
Yeah,
Alan.
there you go. Yeah.
You did well on that.
Oh, wow.
Right, so don't forget to check out Jeannie's channel. And your channel is called Jeannie.
Jeannie's Drone Ventures.
Check it out. Loads of
Very
videos on there.
underrated. Jeannie, you deserve way more subscribers and way more.
I know I
views.
only have like 308 or something.
Right.
So,
So-
You deserve way more.
Any of you watching the show have not subscribed,
subscribe
get
to
over there after the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love you guys. It was
Jeannie.
fun.
Thank you, Jeannie.
And Brian, so I'm going to show one of Brian's videos this week, but we'll leave it to next week because next week is a special week. We've got no guest. However, we're going to feature videos. Videos. So,
Jackie's
video,
Jackie's
Yeah.
videos.
anyone would like. Maybe if they're good enough.
Maybe if they're good enough.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do better.
Yeah, do better, Jackie.
Hold it.
So-
hold it.
If you want your video, if you want your video featured next week, send us a link or whatever through
Right, right now.
Facebook, whatever, and we'll see. There's no prizes, but hey, we show you video. Anyway, thanks for watching. So from Jeannie, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And it's that time again. I'm afraid to go home, and well, I am home, but. But
Let's get
anyway,
that drone out of your hair, Steve.
get that drone out of my hair, yeah. That's a
I
bloody,
don't think I'll-
tell that bloody thing. I'll keep that buzzing around my ear. I can't hear anything. Right.
Oh,
So anyway, Thanks for joining us. See you next week.
Next week.
Take care, everyone. Have a good
That's
week.
fine.
Bye.
Adios.